Welcome to Season 5 of the Get Out of Teaching podcast, presented by Larksong Enterprises. This podcast is for teachers who are considering leaving education but feel like they have no options. I'm your host, Elizabeth Diakos. I'm a career transition coach who guides overwhelmed teachers through a 5-step process out of education and into a life they love. I'd like to see a world where the work of teachers is valued and respected, and that teachers have a career pathway that enables them to continue to offer value to society beyond their work in the classroom. So in this season, we'll be speaking with wellbeing experts who can help you to stay well as you plan your exit. If you're almost ready to leave and you need to redo your resume, check out my Resume Revamp digital download. It's a comprehensive guide to making your resume show off your assets. For $49.95 Australian dollars, you'll get pre-filled, eye-pleasing resume and cover letter templates in both US letter and A4 size, a lexicon of teacher terminology with a translation to corporate speak, and a bonus PDF on getting past applicant tracking software. Check out the Resume Revamp package on the product page of larksong.com.au and come along for the ride as we get out of teaching. Episode 10. Hi everyone, welcome to the show. On today's show, I'm really pleased to be speaking with former teacher who is now Michelle Burke, who is now helping women to expand their consciousness, drop their facade, and she's guiding them into becoming their true selves. How did I go with that description, Michelle?
Good.
Okay, so Michelle, you're here on the Get Out of Teaching podcast, and thank you very much for coming. As you know, this season is really about helping people to stay well while they stay in the profession and plan their exit. So it's about how do you stay grounded, how do you stay safe. So can you tell us a little bit about your background in education and how you got into doing what you're doing now?
Sure. First of all, thank you for having me on today. I started out in informal education, where I had created a water education program. And I had realized as I was doing the water education program, I was working for county government at the time.
So do you mean like water conservation, that kind of thing?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
That the days that I was doing the water program were the days that I was looking forward to going to work. And the days that I had to sit in the office were the days where I was like, okay, I don't want to go to work.
Got it.
So I was like, all right, this is the time. Like they always say, if you're going to make a major career change, you might as well do it while you have a job. So I'm like, okay, this is going to be it. So I took that leap into education, and it was an eye-opening experience for me. I loved, connecting with the kids. I loved being that facilitator. I always knew from the age of 5 that I was going to be, a teacher.
But you started out in this other sector. So
yeah, I've changed sectors more than once.
Right. Okay.
So I started in government consulting, went to education, left formal education to do what I'm doing now.
Okay, so when you were working,
still has an education component to it, which I'll get to.
Yeah. Okay. So when you were doing the stuff with the water board before you started teaching, where was that?
That was in. I live in the States. I'm in New Jersey.
Okay.
So that was it. It was for county government.
Yeah. And then how long were you teaching for?
I taught in schools for about 8 years.
Okay. So similar to me, I was only in for about 8 years. And then what was the catalyst then for leaving?
Teaching to the test was crushing my soul.
Yeah.
Here in the States, we have so many standardized tests, and it just Oh, I was teaching 8th grade at the time, and 8th grade in New Jersey is a testing grade year for science. So I would get to a point within the school year where I would have to stop the curriculum to reteach everything that they had learned from 4th grade up until 8th grade.
Wow.
Because 4th grade was the last time they were tested.
Okay.
And some of the stuff, we hadn't gotten to yet. One time I had his kid call me over and he's like, Miss B, and he's pointing to the question. He's like, I don't know what to do. I was like, that's because you didn't learn it yet. He's going like this to me. I was like, figure it out. I can't help you here. Like, I'm sorry. I'm truly sorry right now that I cannot help you.
Yeah, that's sad, isn't it? And so there was just no time to teach the curriculum.
Yeah.
Okay. And so your soul was being crushed, and so you decided to leave. What are you doing now, and how do you help people? Like, give us a bit more of a bigger picture about that.
So as you had said in the introduction, I'm guiding women in feeling safe in who they are, letting that facade crumble. Because as women, we put on this facade. We make it look as if everything's okay and we're juggling 20 million different things all at once. So I take you on this journey of self exploration, of soul exploration, really, where we're going in and we're doing the deconditioning work, doing the uncovering the patterns, clearing the patterns, looking at your emotional traumas, your ancestral traumas, what you're currently going through and why you're in these cycles and patterns that you're in. So I took myself out of the formal classroom and I put myself more in an untraditional classroom because I'm acting as that facilitator.
Okay.
We're facilitating that change within you by bringing out the true you.
And so what does that look like in practice? How does that process work?
A lot of energy work, a lot of soul work, journaling, reflecting, but a lot of energy work. I have the one of my superpowers is being able to connect with you on an emotional level and know what you're feeling without you telling me what you're feeling.
Okay.
So that was also an asset when I was teaching, where I knew why a kid who was always, bright, happy, sunshiny, comes in and something seems off. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, something is off here.
Okay, so while you were on the way out and you were just going back to your teaching kind of career, as you were leaving, how did you manage that process of, like you said, you wanted to leave while you still had a job? How did you set it up to make sure you sort of survived that process?
I didn't, in all honesty. I quit my job and moved with nothing really lined up.
Okay, so you're a risk taker.
And started my first business a month beforehand. So yeah, I took a whole leap of faith. I started my first business, which was in network marketing, left the teaching job that I had and moved with nothing really lined up.
Did you still have the network marketing business when you moved?
Yes, because I had just started the network marketing business. So come that September, I had taken a job doing tutoring
Mhm.
and doing like home instruction type work, but in a group setting. So home instruction work for students who were in like a rehab sort of program or something like that, where they weren't in school but were still needing,
Extra
needing to go
support.
to school.
Yeah. Okay.
So I took a job with that, and then I did take for that school year. In October, I was offered a maternity leave position. So I did teach for that year because I was trying to get my business off the ground.
Right. Okay. So
So
how did you manage all of that at the same time? It sounds like that was pretty busy.
it was. I spent my when I got the leave replacement, I quit the other job. But I spent my days in the classroom, and then I spent my evenings sitting in my oversized armchair, building my network marketing business. And the advantage of it being a leave replacement was I didn't have to do lesson plans. The teacher that I was filling in for had given me her lesson plans from last year.
Right.
In Google Docs. So all I really had to do was go in and change the dates.
Wow. Yeah, that's good.
Yes. So in that sort of planning, like lesson plan aspect, like the lesson plans were done for me. It was material that I was, oh, okay, like I know what we're doing here, got it. So there wasn't much prep work, that I had to do. Oh, sure, there was the grading, which you can't ignore.
Yeah.
You can't get away from it. But I spent most of my nights sitting in the oversized armchair building out my network marketing business.
So tell us a little bit about that, because I don't know a lot about that side of things, and a lot of people are afraid of it or skeptical about it. So can you just give us a little brief vignette about what that's actually like, or what it was?
So I was with a network marketing company that was within the health and wellness sector. So it was also for me one of the things that kept me grounded, because it was giving me a focus. It was giving me a reason, and it was giving me the workouts, to work out all that, the anger, the frustration and everything. But it's work. You hear so many people saying that a network marketing is a pyramid scheme or something like that, or a scam. They're not. It's you have to be willing to put in the work. You have to be willing to share your story and share how the product is working for you, how you're using the product. It's just like in any business or any, like, take your regular shampoo. If a friend compliments you on your oh, your hair looks great, and smells it, and they're like, oh my gosh, your hair smells great, like what shampoo are you using? You're gonna say, oh, like I'm using whatever shampoo you're using.
Yeah.
Right there, you just sold that shampoo.
Yeah.
And you didn't get any compensation for it. Network marketing is kind of the exact same thing. You're sharing a product and you're getting compensated for it.
Yeah. Okay. And so you said a word, you said grounded before, that helped you to stay grounded. I feel like that's really the crux of this conversation. That's what I want to know. How do you stay sane? How do you stay well while you're planning your exit? So how did that work out for you? What do you mean by it helped you to stay grounded? How did that play out?
So it was just just actual exercise. So I would listen to Kundalini mantras and meditations in the morning on my way to school to to center myself, so that I was in this right state of mind and mind frame, and just ready to walk in, balanced, centered, like, okay, I can get through this day. Taking those moments during the day, especially like during my prep or during lunch, and just taking 5 minutes just to myself, like everybody out of the room, close the door, turn off the lights, and just taking 5 minutes and just literally just sitting there doing absolutely nothing. Just connecting back, back to self. And, we think as teachers, it's like, but wait, my prep is when I go to the bathroom for the first time since I got to school. Depending upon when your lunch is, you're either eating lunch or eating a snack. You're trying to run to the copier while it's free. Like, no, I can't take 5 minutes. Like, no, those are the best 5 minutes that you can take for yourself, because you're in the crux of your day. The stress, the anxiety, a lot of these things of the day are starting to build. So it's just by taking that simple 5 minutes, or even if it's just 2 minutes.
So what does that look like in practice? How do you do that? Like, where do you go? What do you do when you get there?
So, close your classroom door, turn the lights off. Breathe in for 5, hold for 5, exhale for 5. Do it 5 times.
Right.
We forget the power of our breath.
Yeah.
Even when the students start getting to you, when you've got that one class, where you're like, okay, this is my trouble group. Like, these are the ones where, like, all right, like, the kids don't know that you're, counting as you're breathing, holding your breath, and slowly exhaling.
But it just helps you to calm down and slow down your heart rate.
Exactly. Before, you start yelling and screaming at the kids, which we all know isn't going to solve anything.
Yeah, definitely. And so apart from breathing, which I agree, that's a really great, like that tactical breathing, even the army and the armed forces defense forces use that as a strategy to help stay calm and focused when they're in the battlefield. So I know that's a real thing. What other strategies did you use while you were on your way out?
Yoga, Kundalini yoga was huge for me. Exercise was also big for me. I moved during the process, and I made my dream of living at the beach a reality. So just connecting with nature. So for me, it was my daily beach walks. Just connecting with nature, connecting back to source. Connecting back to Mother Earth. And just being present.
Yeah, love it. I mean, and I'm totally with you about that. I love being at the ocean, being by the sea, swimming in the sea. I love it so much. All right, so if you were able to give some advice to a teacher who's feeling stuck and stressed and overwhelmed, what advice would you give to someone who wants to stay well enough to plan their exit?
Listen to your soul. Listen to your soul. Trust
Say
your
more
gut.
about that. Say more.
Because when you start to tell people that you're, especially family members and whatnot, that you're looking to make that exit, there are some people that are going to give you the pushback, that are going to ask you why, and aren't going to understand when you say, teaching to the test is crushing my soul.
Yeah.
Or the love of teaching is no longer in me. It's like, well, why? It's like, you don't have to justify the answer, and you don't have to justify it. You don't have to give them a reason why. It's like, it just doesn't feel right in your body anymore.
Yeah.
So continue to trust your body and listen to what your intuition and your soul is telling you, because outside people are going to try to sway you the other way.
Yeah, so true, so true. And I talk to a lot of teachers who people saying, why would you leave this job? It's such a great job. It's stable, it's secure. You've got the holidays, you've got the summers off, blah, blah, blah. And they don't understand what it's like, that you feel like you're on stage every day, you're giving it everything you've got. And then you get that soul crushing demoralization where you're being forced to do what you know is wrong.
Yes. Where I had the principal send me an email one day after grades were due, questioning the grades of several students, because the grades of these students were preventing them from being on high honor roll, which was preventing them from receiving certain awards at the end of the school year. And they needed a 92 to be on high honor roll.
Yeah.
Now, most of the kids had a 90, 91. Okay, I don't mind changing a 90 to a 92, a 91 to a 92, like 1 point, 2 points, like no big deal. I did for the C student so that they could have the B, it's like you change the 78 to an 80 so that it can be, a B for a kid, who's put in the work. It's like, all right.
Yeah.
And I get to the last kid on the list and he has an 86.
Right. Okay.
And the principal asked me to change it to a 92. And I sat there and I took the breath and I changed it. I hit send on the email and the principal secretary was copied on it, walked into the office to sign out. And the secretary looked at me and said, I can't believe you did that. Ooh. I know why you did that, but I can't believe that you actually did that. And I looked at her and I said, neither can I. We both know exactly why I did it. I'm stopping at the liquor store on my way home. Like, I need a glass of wine after that one.
Yeah. So you were actually being pressured to be inauthentic and go against your conscience and what you knew was right.
And the whole reason why was because that student, one of that student's parents, I don't remember whether it was their mom or their dad, I think it was their dad, was on the school board. Yeah. So it was political, bureaucratic, nonsense.
Yeah. See, that's terrible, isn't it? I mean, I would be the opposite. As a parent, I would go, do not give my kid any special treatment. If anything, be harder on them than everybody else, because I don't want those accusations to happen either from the parents' point of view. Okay, so I can see then that that was obviously really stressful, and when you're being forced to be inauthentic, and you're disconnected from who you really are, there's almost this schizophrenia like going on where you feel like you're split and you can't function properly.
There was one time where I scheduled a call with someone, to share the network marketing opportunity with during my lunch period. And my worst class was right before my lunch period on this day. And they took longer to get out of the room, and I just needed a minute to center myself. But this person called like right as the last kid was walking out the door. And when I answered the phone, and I was all flustered and tongue-tied, and the person on the other end responds back to me with, "Well, call me when you're not drunk." And I went, "It's 11 o'clock in the morning here. I'm also a teacher. I just had my last group of kids leave. I can assure you I haven't been drinking. Like, I sound this way because I just had 20 14-year-olds in my room. Like, I just needed a minute to recenter myself." He's like, no. You're definite. I was like, "Okay, sir. I can assure you I am not drunk right now." But it was that like moment for me where another one of those moments for me where it just clicked. Where it was like, I can't.
I'm sorry that happened. That sounds, you must have felt so frustrated with that whole
Oh,
situation.
I was so frustrated.
Yeah.
But it was one of those moments though where like it clicked as to I can't do both.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Or I can't do both within like the school day.
Yeah, too hard. Okay, so if someone wanted to work with you to do this work that you do, what would the process be to come along and work with you?
The process is pretty simple. You would schedule a call with me, and we would go through and see what it is exactly that's going on, where you need guidance, support, and then see what level option that I have best suits you.
Okay, and so if you got a website, like now's your opportunity for some shameless self-promotion.
Actually, I do not at the moment have a website.
Okay.
I do have my Instagram, which I am Magic Shell, magic with ACK.
Do you want to spell it?
MAGICKSHELL.
Okay.
So that would be my Instagram, and just that's the best way. Probably one of the best ways to connect with me, because then on there's also the link to schedule a call.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Okay. So we can put that all in the show notes for this episode, so that people can get in touch with you that way. Okay.
Sounds
so
good.
Michelle, before we wrap this up, I'm going to give you one final question. What's your favorite song?
My favorite song. It's a good question. So so the song that's coming into my head, and I wouldn't say that it's my favorite song. I would say that it's a song that gets me through rough spots, because it did get me through a rough spot. So my grandpa used to always call us kids like kiddo, like you've got this kiddo. So after he had passed away, and my grandpa and I were very close. After he had passed away, I was driving, and the song, "Ooh Child, Things Are Gonna Get Easier, Things Will Be Brighter," came on, and I knew that it was him giving me that message that, things are going to be okay. You're going to be okay without me. Things are going to get brighter. They might not seem it right now, but things will get better. And so whenever I hear that song, or whenever that song comes into my head, I know that it's him giving me that reminder that, things are going to get better. Things are going to get brighter.
I love that. What a nice message to end on. Michelle Burke, thank you so much for joining us on the Get Out of Teaching podcast today. It's been a really interesting conversation.
Yes, thank you for having me.
You've been listening to the Get Out of Teaching podcast presented by Larksong Enterprises with your host Elizabeth Diakos. Thanks for listening. If you need more support in your journey out of education, check out larksong.com.au and book a triage call. I'm a career transition coach for educators, and I support teachers in their journey out of education and into a life they love. I've been where you are now, and you don't need to do this alone.